The text from mom hit different at 2 a.m. when you're 3 espressos deep in a pitch deck. Sky Lounge. Tomorrow. 8 p.m. His name is Adrian Chen. Please, Zara. Just one chance. Zara's reflection stared back from her laptop screen. Dark circles, messy bun, the same graphic tee she'd worn for 36 hours straight. Project manager at 26. Burnt out by 26. Still getting set up on blind dates by her immigrant parents who thought career success meant nothing without a ring. She screenshotted the text and sent it to her group chat. Within seconds, replies exploded. Skip it. Babe, you are too busy for this. Another finance bro probably, ugh. But then her mom's follow-up arrived. A photo. The guy's LinkedIn profile. Adrian Chen. 30, founder and CEO of Nexus AI. Zara's stomach dropped 6 floors. No. Absolutely not. This had to be a glitch in the matrix. She'd followed his company's journey for 4 years. Every product launch. Every interview he did on tech podcasts where his voice went all passionate about ethical AI development. She'd watched his keynote at Summit West from the nosebleed seats, too broke and junior to afford good tickets, taking notes like her life depended on it. He didn't just build companies. He built the future she wanted to create. And now her mom was setting her up with him like he was just another setup. The humiliation burned through her veins. Sky Lounge was all glass and violet lighting, the kind of place where venture capitalists made million-dollar deals over organic cocktails. Zara felt like a fraud the second she stepped out of the elevator. She'd gone with black wide-leg pants and a silky olive crop top, vintage leather jacket thrown over it. Combat boots because heels were a scam. Hair down and wavy, minimal makeup except for the bold eyeliner that made her feel like she could survive anything. Gold hoops her grandmother gave her. The outfit screamed, "I have my life together," when really she'd panic-changed 4 times. The hostess led her through the crowd to a corner table. And there he was. Adrian Chen looked nothing like his polished conference photos. He wore a black crewneck sweatshirt, expensive but understated, with dark jeans and white sneakers that probably cost more than her rent. His hair was slightly messy, like he'd run his hands through it too many times. Tired eyes behind trendy glasses. A smartwatch glowing on his wrist. He looked up. Their eyes met. And something in his expression cracked wide open. "You're early," he said, standing quickly. Too quickly. His chair scraped. "I'm punctual," Zara shot back, her defense mechanisms activating. "There's a difference." He almost smiled. "Fair." They sat. The silence felt like static electricity. A waiter appeared. Zara ordered whiskey sour. Adrian got an old-fashioned. The waiter vanished. "So," Adrian started, fingers drumming the table. "How much did your family tell you about me?" "Enough to know this is weird." "Weird how?" Zara leaned back, crossing her arms. "They're treating you like some prize they won in a raffle. It's giving arranged marriage energy, and honestly, it's embarrassing." His eyebrows shot up. "For you or for me?" "Both of us." He laughed. Actually laughed. The sound was warm and unexpected. "I've been to 11 of these setups in the past year," he said, voice dropping lower. "My parents think building a billion-dollar company means nothing if I'm not building a family. Every single dinner has been the same script. Polite questions. Fake interest. Everyone performing. So why'd you say yes to this one?" The question hung between them like a dare. Adrian looked at her. Really looked at her. And Zara felt her skin heat up under the intensity. "Because," he said slowly, "I saw your name on my mom's list. And I couldn't believe it was actually you." The air left her lungs. "What?" Summit West. 4 years ago. You were in the back section, third row from the top. You asked the last question during my keynote Q&A, something about algorithmic accountability and how companies avoid responsibility by blaming the tech. Zara's hands went cold. She remembered. God, she remembered standing up with shaking legs, convinced she'd sound stupid, forcing the words out anyway because nobody else was asking the real questions. You remember that? I remember you. His voice carried weight. Like those words cost him something to say. After the session ended, I tried to find you. But you were already gone. I've thought about that question for 4 years. It changed how I built my entire ethics framework. Zara's pulse hammered in her throat. That's not possible. Why not? Because people like you don't remember people like me. Something shifted in his face. Pain, maybe. Or recognition. People like you, he repeated quietly, are the only ones worth remembering. The drinks arrived. Neither of them touched them. This is insane, Zara whispered. Yeah. We should leave. Tell our parents we're incompatible. End this before it gets complicated. Adrian's jaw tightened. We should. But neither of them moved. 1 hour, he said finally. Stay for 1 hour. Let me take you somewhere that's not this performance space. Somewhere we can actually talk without everyone watching. And if I say no? His eyes held hers. Then I'll respect it. But I'll regret it for the rest of my life. Zara's phone buzzed. Her mom. Texting to ask how it was going. She had 2 choices. Walk away from the safe path. Or follow him into the unknown. 1 hour, she heard herself say. Adrian's smile could have lit the entire city. Adrian's car was parked in the underground garage. Sleek black Tesla, because of course it was. Zara slid into the passenger seat, her heart doing gymnastics in her chest. The city lights blurred past as they drove. No destination announced. Just movement and possibility and the low hum of electric engine. Where are we going? She asked. Somewhere I go when I need to think. 20 minutes later, they pulled up to the pier. Not the touristy part with overpriced seafood and street performers. The industrial edge where shipping containers stacked like building blocks and the ocean crashed against concrete. They walked along the empty dock. The wind whipped Zara's hair across her face. Adrian's hands stayed in his pockets, but he kept glancing at her like he was afraid she'd disappear. Can I ask you something real? His voice cut through the wind. Shoot. Why'd you agree to tonight? The setup, I mean. Before you knew it was me. Zara stopped walking. The truth felt too raw to say out loud. My parents sacrificed everything to get here. Dad worked 3 jobs. Mom cleaned houses while finishing her degree. They gave up their entire lives so I could have choices. She swallowed hard. How do I tell them the choice I'm making is to stay single and married to my career? That their sacrifices weren't enough to make me want what they want? So you show up. I show up. Adrian turned to face her fully. Behind him, the city skyline glittered like broken glass. What if I told you I'd do the same thing? He said quietly. Different pressure, same cage. My parents handed me opportunities most people never get. Elite schools. Venture capital connections. A last name that opens doors. And in return, I'm supposed to want their version of success. Wife. Kids. Legacy. The whole package. But you don't. I don't know what I want. His voice cracked on the admission. I built a company everyone calls revolutionary. I have more money than I'll ever spend. And I'm still empty. Like I'm living someone else's blueprint. Zara's chest ached. That's the most honest thing anyone said to me in years. Your turn. Be honest. What do you actually want? The question hit like a freight train. I want to build something that matters, she said. Not just execute someone else's vision. I want my name on the product. My ideas changing the industry. I want to prove I'm not just good for an immigrant kid. I'm good, period. Adrian stepped closer. Close enough that she could see the gold flecks in his dark eyes behind those frames. Then why are you still at someone else's company? Because I'm scared. Of failing? Of succeeding and still feeling empty. Like you. The words hung between them, sharp and true. His phone buzzed. Then hers. Both their moms, probably coordinating their next move like puppet masters. They're never going to leave us alone, Zara said. You know that, right? We walk away from tonight, they'll just set up another dinner. And another. Until we give in or break. So what do we do? An idea sparked in Zara's brain. Reckless and brilliant and absolutely unhinged. What if we didn't fight them, she said slowly. What if we gave them exactly what they wanted? Adrian's eyes narrowed. I'm listening. Fake it. Date publicly, keep our families happy, buy ourselves time to actually figure out what we want. 6 months. Then we stage a mutual breakup. Blame compatibility issues. They can't force us into marriage if we already tried and failed. That's insane. You have a better idea? He was quiet for a long moment. The ocean roared behind them. 6 months of pretending to date you, he said carefully. Rules? No real feelings. This is strategy, not romance. We keep our own lives, our own goals. Just show up when the families need proof. And if one of us actually catches feelings? Zara's stomach flipped. Won't happen. You sound sure. I am. Liar, her heart whispered. Adrian extended his hand. Deal? She stared at his palm. This was a terrible idea. The kind of idea that imploded spectacularly in every rom-com ever made. She shook his hand anyway. His grip was warm and firm and sent electricity racing up her arm. Deal, she said. We should probably kiss, Adrian said, voice rough. You know. To practice. Make it convincing for our parents. Zara's breath hitched. That's not part of the deal. You're right. Forget I said anything. But he didn't step back. And neither did she. The space between them felt charged. Dangerous. This is a bad idea, she whispered. Terrible, he agreed. And then his phone rang. Shattering the moment. He answered without breaking eye contact. Mom. Yeah. It's going great. Actually, I need to tell you something. Zara's eyes went wide. Zara and I are dating. Officially. I know. We wanted to be sure before we said anything. We'll come to dinner this weekend. Both families. Yeah. Okay. Love you too. He hung up. Did you just actually do that? Zara hissed. You said 6 months. Clock starts now. Her phone exploded with texts. Her mom. Her aunts. Probably her entire extended family halfway across the world. They're planning the wedding, Zara said, scrolling through the chaos. My mom just sent me a list of venues. They looked at each other. And started laughing. The kind of laughter that felt like screaming. Like jumping off a cliff with no parachute. We're so screwed, Zara gasped between giggles. Completely. But when their laughter faded and the reality settled in, Adrian's expression shifted. Something darker flickered across his face. There's something you should know, he said quietly. About why I really agreed to meet you tonight. Zara's pulse kicked up. What? The company. Nexus AI. We're in trouble. Bad trouble. There's someone on my board who's been sabotaging every move I make. Leaked prototypes. Stolen clients. They want me out. Why are you telling me this? His jaw tightened. Because if we're doing this, you deserve to know what you're walking into. My life isn't just demanding parents and fake relationship negotiations. It's corporate warfare. And if you're seen with me, you become a target too. Zara should have run. Should have called off the whole insane plan. Instead, she stepped closer. Then I guess we better make this convincing, she said. Adrian's smile was equal parts relief and devastation. You have no idea what you just signed up for. Try me. What neither of them knew was that across town, in a penthouse office, someone was watching. Waiting. And plotting their destruction. The restaurant was the kind of place where reservations required a 3-month wait and a subtle background check. Zara tugged at her burgundy slip dress, the silky fabric clinging to her curves in ways that made her hyper-aware of every breath. She'd paired it with a cropped black blazer and strappy heels that were murdering her feet. Hair swept up in a sleek bun. Delicate gold necklace. The armor of someone pretending to belong. Adrian met her outside, and her brain short-circuited. Charcoal suit, no tie, white shirt unbuttoned at the collar. Hair styled but still effortlessly messy. He looked like old money and new power wrapped in designer fabric. When he saw her, something hungry flashed in his eyes before he controlled it. You look devastating, he said. You clean up okay, she shot back, ignoring how her skin heated. He offered his arm. She took it. The gesture felt too real. Inside, their families had already claimed the private dining room. Zara's parents sat across from Adrian's. Her mom in a traditional embroidered kurta, her dad in his best suit. Adrian's mother dripped in pearls and judgment, his father all silver hair and calculated smiles. The performance began. So, Adrian's mother started, her tone sharp enough to cut glass. Zara. Your mother tells me you work in project management. How quaint. Zara's mom flinched. I lead product strategy for a Series B startup, Zara corrected, voice steady. We just closed a $12 million funding round. Impressive, Adrian's father said, though his eyes said otherwise. And you plan to continue working after marriage? The question landed like a grenade. There's no marriage, Zara said firmly. We're dating. That's it. For now, her mother interjected quickly. But when the time comes, surely you'll want to focus on family. Adrian's hand found hers under the table. Squeezed once. Actually, he said, his voice cutting through the tension, Zara's career is one of the things I admire most about her. I'd never ask her to sacrifice her ambitions. His mother's smile could have frozen fire. How modern of you, darling. Though I wonder if you've thought about the practical realities. Children need stability. A present mother. And a present father, Zara countered. Or are we pretending men don't have equal responsibility in parenting? The table went silent. Her dad looked like he wanted to disappear. Her mom's eyes screamed betrayal. But Adrian's expression was something else entirely. Pride. Excuse me, Adrian's mother said, standing abruptly. I need air. She swept from the room, her husband following. Zara's parents exchanged panicked looks before making hasty excuses and leaving too. Suddenly, they were alone. That went well, Zara said flatly. You were perfect. I just nuked our fake relationship before it even started. Adrian turned to face her fully. You stood up for yourself. Do you know how rare that is in my world? Everyone just agrees. Performs. You actually said what you meant. Your mom hates me. My mom hates everyone who doesn't bow. But my dad? Adrian's smile turned sharp. He looked impressed. That's dangerous. Why? Before Adrian could answer, his phone buzzed. His face drained of color as he read the screen. What is it? We need to leave. Now. He grabbed her hand, pulling her through the restaurant and out into the cool night. His car was already waiting, valet hovering nervously. They drove in silence for 10 minutes before Adrian finally spoke. The board member I told you about? The one sabotaging me? Yeah. It's my father. Zara's world tilted. What? He never wanted me to build Nexus. He wanted me to take over his real estate empire. When I refused and started my own thing, he smiled and wrote a check and told everyone he was proud. But behind the scenes? Adrian's knuckles were white on the steering wheel. He's been systematically destroying everything I built. Stealing investors. Planting stories in the press. Turning my own board against me. Why are you telling me this now? Because he just texted. He knows about us. And he's planning to use you against me. Fear laced through her veins. How? Your startup. The Series B you mentioned. One of your investors is connected to my dad's network. He's going to pull funding. Tank your company. Make it look like being with me destroyed your career. Zara's phone rang. Her boss. At 10 p.m. She answered with shaking hands. Zara. Emergency meeting tomorrow. 8 a.m., don't be late. Click. She stared at the phone. Then at Adrian. He already started, didn't he? Adrian's jaw clenched. I'm sorry. I thought I had more time. I thought I could protect you. I don't need protection. I need the truth. All of it. He pulled over. Killed the engine. Turned to face her in the dim light of the car. My father doesn't just want me to fail, Adrian said quietly. He wants me to come crawling back. Admit that his way was right. That I can't make it without his approval. And you? You're the perfect pressure point. Someone I actually care about. We've known each other for 3 days. I've known you for 4 years, Zara. Since that conference. Since that question. You've been in my head ever since. And my father knows it. He had you investigated the second my mom mentioned your name. The betrayal hit like a physical blow. You knew this whole time? That I'd be collateral damage in your family war? No. I swear I didn't know he'd move this fast. I thought fake dating would keep our families happy while I figured out how to remove him from the board. I didn't think he'd weaponize you. Zara's hands trembled with rage. You used me. I'm trying to protect you. By lying? By dragging me into your corporate drama without warning? That's not protection. That's manipulation. You're right. His voice cracked. You're absolutely right. And I'm sorry. But right now, we have 2 choices. Walk away and let him destroy both our careers. Or fight back. Together. Why would I trust you? Because, Adrian said, reaching into his jacket, I'm about to give you something that could destroy me completely. He pulled out a flash drive. Every piece of evidence I have against my father. Financial records. Emails. Proof of corporate espionage. If this goes public, it ruins him. But it also ruins my family. My mother. My sister who has nothing to do with this. Everyone. He placed it in her palm. I'm trusting you with my entire life, he whispered. Because I need you to know I'm serious. This isn't fake anymore. This is survival. Mine and yours. Zara stared at the drive. This tiny piece of metal and data that could change everything. If I do this, she said slowly, if I fight with you, I need complete honesty. No more secrets. No more strategy. Just truth. Deal. And when this is over, when we've taken down your father and saved my company, we end this. We walk away. We don't turn this fake thing into something real. Something devastated flickered across his face. If that's what you want. It's what we agreed. Then you have my word. They shook hands. Again. But this time, Adrian lifted her hand to his lips and pressed a kiss to her knuckles. For the cameras, he said, nodding to a car parked across the street. My father's people. Right. The cameras. But his lips lingered a second too long. And when he pulled back, they both knew the same terrifying truth. This stopped being fake the moment it started. The emergency meeting was a massacre. Zara sat in the glass conference room wearing ripped black jeans, an oversized white button-down tucked in, and her lucky Converse. Minimal makeup. Hair in a high ponytail. Battle mode. Across from her, 3 investors in identical gray suits delivered the killing blow. We're pulling our funding. Effective immediately. Her boss, David, looked gutted. On what grounds? Reputational concerns. Your project lead is entangled with Adrian Chen, who's currently under investigation for corporate misconduct. Lies. All lies planted by Adrian's father. That's not true, Zara said, her voice ice. Show me proof. They slid a folder across the table. Photos of her and Adrian at the pier. At the restaurant. Headlines from gossip sites she'd never heard of. Tech CEO's shady romance and nepotism or love. Her stomach turned. You're using my personal life to justify a business decision? We're protecting our investment. By killing the company? The lead investor stood. This meeting is over. They left. Just like that. 4 months of work. 12 people's jobs. Her entire reputation. Gone. David dropped into the chair beside her. I'm sorry, Zara. I fought for you. But without that funding, we can't make payroll next month. Give me 2 weeks. For what? To fix this. She left the office and went straight to Adrian's building. 43 floors of steel and glass and power. Security tried to stop her. She blew past them, taking the elevator to the top floor. Adrian's assistant barely looked up. He's not seeing anyone. He'll see me. She walked into his office without knocking. Adrian sat behind a massive desk, shirt sleeves rolled up, tie loosened, hair wrecked like he'd been pulling at it for hours. Dark circles under his eyes. He looked up, startled. Zara. They pulled funding. His face crumpled. I know. I'm so sorry. I've been trying to reach you all morning. Don't apologize. Help me fight. He stood, coming around the desk. I've had my lawyers on it since 6 a.m. We can file injunctions, sue for defamation, but that takes months. Maybe years. Your company doesn't have that kind of time. So we go nuclear. We release the evidence. Destroy your father before he destroys us. Adrian's expression shifted. Pain mixed with something darker. I can't. What? My sister called this morning. She's pregnant. High risk. If the stress of a public scandal causes complications, if anything happens to her or the baby because of me. He couldn't finish the sentence. Zara's anger fractured into understanding. He's using her against you. He's using everyone. That's what he does. He finds what you love and turns it into a weapon. Then what do we do? Adrian was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was barely above a whisper. I give him what he wants. No. I step down from Nexus. Join his company. Let him win. In exchange, he restores your funding and leaves you alone. That's your entire life. It's just a company. Liar. Zara grabbed his face, forcing him to look at her. Nexus is everything you've built. Your vision. Your proof that you could make it without his money or name. If you give that up, you'll never forgive yourself. If I don't, people get hurt. You. My sister. Everyone who depends on me. There has to be another way. There isn't. She wanted to scream. To fight. To find some brilliant solution that saved everyone. But real life wasn't like that. Sometimes every choice led to pain. Let me talk to him, she said suddenly. What? Your father. Let me negotiate. Maybe he'll listen to me. He'll eat you alive. Then I'll bite back. Adrian's laugh was broken. You're insane. You like that about me? His eyes met hers. And there it was. The truth they'd been dancing around for days. This wasn't strategy anymore. This wasn't fake. I'm falling for you, he said quietly. I know that breaks our agreement. I know you wanted this to stay transactional. But I can't keep pretending I don't feel this. Zara's heart hammered against her ribs. Adrian. You don't have to say anything. I just needed you to know. Before I do this. Before I sacrifice everything. I need you to know it's worth it. Because you're worth it. She should step back. Should remind him of the rules. Should protect them both from this. Instead, she kissed him. Hard and desperate and real. His hands tangled in her hair, pulling her closer. She tasted coffee and regret and something that felt dangerously like hope. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, Adrian pressed his forehead to hers. I'm still meeting with my father tomorrow. Then I'm coming with you. Zara. We're in this together. Remember? That was the deal. The deal was 6 months of fake dating. Plans change. His smile was sad and beautiful. Yeah. They do. The meeting with Adrian's father took place in his penthouse office. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Abstract art worth millions. Everything designed to intimidate. Marcus Chen sat behind his desk in a three-piece suit, silver hair perfectly styled, smile perfectly cruel. He didn't stand when they entered. Adrian. And the girl who's costing you everything. How romantic. Her name is Zara, Adrian said coldly. I know exactly who she is. Project manager. Middle-class family. Ambitions bigger than her resources. You have a type, son. Broken things you think you can save. Zara stepped forward before Adrian could respond. What do you want? Marcus's eyes glittered. Direct. I like that. Fine. Here's my offer. Adrian comes home. Joins Chen Industries as VP of Development. Stops playing entrepreneur. In exchange, I restore funding to your adorable little startup and remove all negative press. And if we refuse? Then I keep destroying you. Both of you. Slowly. Publicly. Until there's nothing left but rubble and regret. Adrian's hand found Zara's. Squeezed tight. There's a third option, Zara said, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her veins. We go to the press. Tell them everything. Your corporate espionage. Your manipulation. Your abuse of power. Sure, it'll damage Adrian's family. But it'll obliterate you. Marcus laughed. You think I'm afraid of bad press? I've survived 3 recessions and 2 divorces. I'm untouchable. Everyone's touchable, Zara countered. The question is what you're willing to lose. Your reputation. Your company. Your relationship with your children. Because if you keep pushing, if you don't back down, Adrian will burn it all to the ground. And I'll hand him the matches. The room went silent. Marcus studied her like she was a bug under glass. You'd really do it, he said slowly. Destroy his family to save your career. No, Zara said. I'd do it to save him from you. Something shifted in Marcus's expression. Respect, maybe. Or recognition. You're nothing like the others. The girls my wife kept throwing at him. You actually have teeth. Is that a compliment or a threat? It's an acknowledgement. He leaned back in his chair. Here's my real offer. Walk away from my son. Take a check for $5 million. Save your company. Live your life. Leave him to rebuild his relationship with his family in peace. Dad, Adrian started, but Marcus cut him off. Or stay with him. Watch me dismantle everything you've built while he chooses between his company and his family. Because that's where this ends, Zara. He loses something. The only question is what? Zara's throat closed. This was it. The real choice. Her dream or his. She turned to Adrian. His eyes were devastated. Pleading. But not for her to stay. He was begging her to take the money and run. To save herself. I need a minute, she whispered. She walked to the window. The city sprawled below, full of people making impossible choices every single day. Behind her, she heard Adrian's voice. Quiet. Broken. Take the deal, Zara. Please. Don't let me ruin your life too. And that's when she knew. She loved him. Not the fake version. Not the performance. The real him. The man who would sacrifice everything to protect the people he cared about. Which meant she had to do the same. Zara turned around. I'll take your deal, she said to Marcus. But with one change. I take the money. I leave Adrian alone. And you drop the investigation into Nexus. You let him keep his company. His life. Everything. Zara, no, Adrian choked out. Those are my terms, she said, ignoring the way her heart was shattering. Do we have an agreement? Marcus smiled. Victorious. We do. 6 months later. Zara stood in her new office. Corner view. Glass walls. The nameplate on the door read CEO, and under it, her company's logo. The $5 million had saved her startup and then some. They'd scaled fast. Hired 20 new people. Just closed a Series C. On paper, she'd won. In reality, she was drowning. Her phone never stopped buzzing. Investor calls. Board meetings. Product launches. Everything she'd dreamed of, wrapped up in a nightmare she couldn't escape. Because every success felt hollow without the person she'd given it all up for. She hadn't spoken to Adrian since that day in his father's office. She'd walked out without looking back, her heart in pieces, his voice calling her name echoing in her skull. The check had cleared. The press had moved on. Her parents were proud. And she was empty. A knock on the door made her jump. Come in. Her assistant poked her head in. Someone's here to see you. Says it's urgent. Won't give a name. I don't have time for mystery meetings. He said to tell you it's about broken deals and second chances. Zara's pulse stopped. Send him in. The door opened. Adrian walked in wearing dark jeans and a gray Henley leather jacket slung over his shoulder. He looked different. Lighter, somehow. Hair longer. A small scar above his eyebrow she didn't remember. "Hi," he said. That single word cracked her chest wide open. "You can't be here." "I know. Your father will find out. He'll retaliate." "He can't." Zara frowned. "What does that mean?" Adrian stepped closer. Close enough that she could smell his cologne. Cedar and rain. "I quit Nexus," he said simply. Her world tilted. "What?" 3 months ago. Sold my shares to the board. Stepped down as CEO. Walked away from everything. "Why would you do that?" "Because you were right. That company was my proof. My rebellion. But it was also my cage. I built it to prove something to my father. To show him I didn't need him. But the irony is, by obsessing over proving him wrong, I was still letting him control my life." "Adrian. Let me finish." His voice shook. "When you walked out of that office, when you chose your dream over us, I was destroyed. I thought you were choosing money over love. But then I realized what you actually did. You made the sacrifice I wasn't brave enough to make. You chose freedom over revenge. And you did it to save me." Tears burned her eyes. "So I made a choice too," he continued. "I sold Nexus. Took the money. Started a nonprofit focused on ethical AI development and education. No board. No investors. No father breathing down my neck. Just the work I actually care about. You gave up everything. I gave up the wrong things to make room for the right ones." He reached into his jacket and pulled out an envelope. "This is a check. For $5 million. The exact amount my father paid you to leave. I don't understand. You sold your freedom for mine. I'm buying yours back. Take it. Pay off whatever debts you still have from scaling your company. Or don't. Burn it. Frame it. I don't care. The point is, you're not beholden to my father's money anymore. You're free." Zara stared at the check. Then at him. "Why now? Why wait 6 months?" "Because I needed to fix myself first. I needed to prove I could stand on my own. That I wasn't the broken thing my father said I was. And I needed you to build your empire without me. To know for certain that your success is yours. Not mine. Not anyone's." His eyes held hers. "I love you, Zara. Not the fake version we performed for our families. The real you. The one who asks hard questions and fights for what she believes in and refuses to bow to anyone. You wrecked me. In the best possible way. And if you tell me to leave right now, I will. But I had to try. I had to tell you that I'm not the same person I was 6 months ago. And I'm hoping maybe you'll give me a chance to prove it." Zara's throat closed. "You destroyed your entire life for me. I rebuilt my life because of you. There's a difference. Your father will never forgive you. I don't need his forgiveness. I need yours." The tears spilled over. "For what?" "For dragging you into my mess. For not fighting harder that day. For letting you walk away thinking I chose my company over you when the truth is, you're the only thing I've ever wanted that actually mattered." Zara crossed the space between them in 2 steps. Her hands found his face, and she kissed him like she'd been drowning for 6 months and he was oxygen. He kissed her back like she was the only solid thing in a tilting world. When they broke apart, both breathless, Zara pressed her forehead to his. "I love you too," she whispered. "I've loved you since that stupid conference 4 years ago when you answered my question like it actually mattered. And I hated you for making me feel this way. For breaking through every wall I'd built. I know the feeling. This is insane. We're insane. Probably. Our families will lose their minds. Adrian's laugh was soft against her skin. My mom already knows. She called me last week. Told me I was an idiot for letting you go. Turns out she actually likes you. Says you're the only person who's ever stood up to her. And my parents? I had dinner with them 2 months ago. Zara pulled back, eyes wide. You what? I showed up at their restaurant. Told them everything. The fake dating plan. My father's manipulation. Your sacrifice. And I asked for their blessing to find you. To fix this. What did they say? Your dad threatened to ban me for life. Your mom cried. Then they both told me I'd better not screw this up again. Fresh tears streamed down Zara's face. You really did all that? I told you. I'm different now. I'm done performing. Done pretending. I want the messy, complicated, real thing. With you. If you'll have me. Zara looked at him. Really looked. At the man who'd walked away from billions to find himself. Who'd fought his way through family trauma and corporate warfare to stand here, vulnerable and honest and hers. No more secrets, she asked. No more secrets. No more fake anything. Just us. Raw and real and figuring it out as we go. She smiled through the tears. Then yeah. Let's do the real thing. He kissed her again. Soft and sweet and full of promise. 6 months ago, they'd made a deal to fake their way through family pressure. They'd agreed to perform. To strategize. To keep it safe. But somewhere between the pier and the penthouse, between the sacrifice and the choice, they'd stumbled into something neither of them expected. Truth. And maybe that was the real twist. Not that they fell in love. But that they learned to be brave enough to fight for it. Zara's phone buzzed. A text from her mom. Your father wants to know if Adrian's coming to dinner on Sunday. He's making dumplings. She showed Adrian the screen. He grinned. Is that your family's version of approval? Pretty much. Then I'll be there. With your mess and your trauma and all your complicated feelings? All of it. If you'll bring yours. Deal. They shook hands. Then laughed. Because they'd come full circle. From a fake deal to save face, to a real promise to save each other. Outside, the city hummed with possibility. Somewhere in the distance, both their families were probably already planning things. Dinners. Holidays. Maybe even weddings they didn't want yet. But for the first time in their lives, Zara and Adrian didn't care about the performance. They cared about the truth. And the truth was simple. They'd found each other. Broken and scarred and perfectly imperfect. And that was enough. The end.